Today we are making sourdough tortillas. When you guys make your very own from scratch, I promise you after that first bite, you're gonna wonder, why have I been buying them from the store for so long? With just 5 simple ingredients, you can create flavorful, soft, pliable sourdough tortillas in minutes. Long ferment the dough and get all those gut health benefits, or make it quickly with some sourdough discard just in time for dinner. These sourdough tortillas are perfect for your Taco Tuesdays or to make any of your favorite chicken wraps or breakfast burritos. We love making a huge batch and freezing them for later, so we always have some on hand. So grab your sourdough starter and let's get started. For the most accurate measurement, I highly recommend using a kitchen scale. So make sure to grab that first. You can make these sourdough tortillas by hand, but I'm gonna let my mixer do the heavy lifting today. First, we're gonna start with all-purpose flour. I'm gonna add 400 grams or 2 3/4 cups plus 1 tablespoon into our bowl. To that, we're gonna add 180 grams or 3/4 of a cup of warm water. I like to typically make sure that the water is no hotter than 110 degrees Fahrenheit, otherwise it can kill your starter. Then we're gonna add 84 grams or 6 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. Now for your sourdough starter. If you would like to long ferment your sourdough tortillas, you're gonna wanna use active bubbly sourdough starter. So as you can see, mine has at least doubled in size, it's bubbly throughout, and you're gonna see that the top is flat, it's no longer domed, and it almost looks crater-like. That's when you know it's ready to use. However, if you would like to make these sourdough tortillas quickly, you can substitute with the same amount of sourdough discard. We're gonna add 140 grams or a half a cup of active sourdough starter. And our final ingredient to our sourdough tortillas is salt. We're gonna add 9 grams or 1.5 teaspoons. What? Backwards. Now that we have all of our ingredients in our bowl, we're going to use the help of our stand mixer. I have the dough hook attachment on, so we're going to place it here, lock her in. Now we're gonna mix on low for 5 minutes or until the dough is nice and smooth and everything is incorporated. And just like that, we have this beautiful dough. As you can see, it's not sticky, it's nice and smooth, and it just comes together so easily. I really love using this straight edge bowl. It just makes it very easy to see visually when your sourdough is done proofing. I'm just gonna lightly grease it. I'm just using some butter. You can use some cooking spray if you prefer. So once your bowl is greased, you're just gonna place your sourdough tortilla dough inside. So now we're gonna cover our dough and let it rest. I like to use this cap from Nectar and Nest, or you could cover it with plastic wrap. If you are using active starter and you want to allow your dough to ferment, we're gonna leave this dough at room temperature to double in size. In my 70-degree kitchen, this took about 7 to 8 hours. If your kitchen is cooler, it will take longer, but if your kitchen is warmer, it will be shorter. Now, if you're using discard because you wanna make this recipe quickly, allow your dough to rest for at least 30 minutes. In preparation for this video, I prepped this sourdough tortilla dough yesterday, and I used active sourdough starter and let it bulk ferment until it has doubled in size. So as you can see, compared to the other dough that I just showed you, it has risen beautifully and you can see some bubbles throughout the dough. Again, this is a great option if you would like to have those gut health benefits of sourdough. So for those of you who have long fermented your dough, after it has doubled in size, you'll move on to shaping the sourdough tortillas. If you're not ready to shape the dough, totally good. You can cover your dough and place it in the fridge and continue with the process the following day. What I would do is I would pull the dough out of the fridge, let it come to room temperature. You don't want your dough to be cold for easy shaping, and then continue on with the recipe. Back to the dough that we just prepped before. We left it to rest for 30 minutes and now it's ready to be shaped. Before removing the dough from the bowl, I'm going to lightly dust our work surface with some flour. And we'll remove the dough from our bowl. Right. Now with a bench scraper or a sharp knife, let's divide our dough. So today I'm going to make smaller, like taco-sized tortillas. So cutting it into 16 even slices. That's going to leave us with about 50 grams for each taco. Each tortilla doesn't have to weigh exactly the same, but it will help keep them uniform. Alright, so let's see how we did here. 49, not too bad. That'll do. Little baby. Now, if you would prefer to make larger sourdough tortillas, like for burritos, we're going to divide the dough into 8 and shoot for about 100 grams per tortilla. If you love sourdough recipes like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell. That way you know whenever a new video is posted. Now to shape our sourdough tortillas, it's very similar to like my sourdough dinner rolls. We're going to take the edges and we're going to stretch them towards the center. And then we're going to flip to have seam side down, and I kind of just like to tuck it and pull while rotating. It just helps to get it a little bit smoother. I might just pinch the bottom to seal those seams, and they should be nice and smooth like this. Repeat with the rest of the dough balls. I love sharing all these sourdough recipes with you, but I would love to know, what sourdough recipe would you like to see next? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. With a clean tea towel, I'm going to cover the dough balls and let them rest for just like 10 minutes. This allows the dough to relax, which will make easier shaping later. While your dough balls rest, let's prep our pans. You can use a skillet or a cast iron pan, whatever you have, and we're going to preheat it to medium-high heat. Now that the dough has rested just a tad, we're going to get to shaping our sourdough tortillas. If you have a tortilla press, feel free to use it, but this recipe doesn't require it. All you're going to need is a rolling pin. So with one dough ball, we're going to place it just like on a lightly floured surface. And we're going to try to roll out your dough as thin as possible. You want it nice and translucent almost. Like when you put your hand behind it, like you can see the shadow of your hand. You might need to just rotate it. And if it starts to stick to your rolling pin, just dust your rolling pin lightly with some flour. It's probably not going to be perfectly circular. That's okay. It's still going to taste perfectly delicious. All right. And as you can see, it's thin enough to be able to see my hand behind it. So you can either place this to the side and continue to roll them out, or if you're a multitasker, feel free to cook while you continue to roll. If you're noticing that your tortilla dough is retracting, it's shrinking after you rolled it, this is a sign that your dough needs just a little bit more time to rest. The gluten is nice and tight, so if you allow it to rest, it'll be easier to roll out. Now that we have a few of them shaped, let's head over to the stovetop and cook them up. To your hot pan, you're going to add one of your shaped sourdough tortillas. You're going to cook it on the first side for about 30 seconds to a minute. You might notice that the tortilla dough might start to puff up. That's great. You're going to continue to cook just till you see some lightly brown speckles around the tortilla dough. Flip to the other side and continue to cook for about 30 seconds to a minute more. Once your sourdough tortilla is fully cooked, place them on a plate and cover them with a clean tea towel. This keeps them nice and warm and soft until you're ready to serve. And just like that, you have the most delicious sourdough tortillas. You guys, how simple is it to make your very own tortillas at home? few ingredients, pantry staples, and it comes together so quickly. I love that this recipe has both options. You can allow it to long ferment, or you can make them quickly in time for dinner. Just look how soft and foldable they are, yet they are strong enough to hold all of your favorite fillings. Sourdough tortillas are the upgrade you need for the most delicious tacos, burritos, quesadillas, you name it. And they'll become a family favorite. I hope you love this recipe. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!